Hey guys, Finnegan Lynch again, back with another episode of Gameplay Analysis. This is going to be me on the left with ZoroKoga Persian Slowking stuff. This deck has too many different things, but it's got the Marshadow GX tech, which is the significant new addition. And then Cameron's on the right with PikaRom, and he's using the exact list that made top four. I think it's Rahul Reddy's list, top four at Madison Regionals. So as you may notice, there is no paywall for this video. I decided not to paywall this one because there's kind of a glare on my cards, making it a little bit hard to see. There's a proxy in here, and the match is only like 25 minutes, so I don't know, it just didn't seem like exactly the quality level that I look for when I'm going to make gameplay analysis videos, so I just decided to make this one free and open to the public. But the good news is that if you are a non-subscriber, this is kind of a demo. This is sort of what it looks like a lot of the time when I'm uploading these. So try to get one up like once a week, but it doesn't always happen. Sometimes I prefer to just write the articles because it seems like that is what is called for. And then other times I make more of these because less articles are needed. But yeah, this is kind of how it goes, just in real life gameplay of some of the more significant matchups. We almost always use lists that are posted to the site or just on limit lists from a recent tournament. The Zork list in this video, I'm not going to post yet because I just don't think it's ready. I'm going to have it up soon for sure, but I'm still tweaking different cards. I don't think this list is perfect by any means yet. It still seems like there's a little bit of inconsistency issues. But one thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is just the Persian line. I'm not sure if I can get away with 1-1 or not. I've been toying with that a lot because when you're trying to find space, that's kind of one of the areas that you might cut down is on the Persian line because 2-2 is kind of somewhat thick. You probably don't want more than 2-2. I think 2-2 is pretty ideal, but yeah, I'm just trying out 1-1 in this video, I believe. I'm also trying out a Wondrous Labyrinth, which is the Thunder Mountain. So at some point you're going to see me put down a Thunder Mountain, and then Cameron counters it with a Thunder Mountain. That's because my Thunder Mountain is supposed to be a Wondrous Labyrinth. I don't know how, but I don't actually own one. Or maybe I do, but I think somebody has my Gardevoir deck and it's in there. Anyway, yeah, I noticed that this PikaRom list is very smooth. Sometimes it draws weird, but for the most part it draws pretty darn good. I was impressed by that. And Zorak draws like pretty good, but the problem it has is just early aggression, and against stuff like Reshizard that goes first and PikaRom, you can run into issues. Another thing with this Marshadow is it's kind of clunky because you don't really want to have it on your bench and then promote it after something's knocked out, because that gives your opponent a chance to Guzma it and kill it before you get to use it. So it kind of makes it awkward with the switching, because you sort of need to have like a DCE already in play and then get the Marshadow down, attach another DCE to it, and get the other combo cards. So I don't know, it's kind of awkward. One thing I've been experimenting with is just playing one switch, but I don't know, it's only one, so that seems kind of awkward. Cameron suggested the idea of playing like Sil Valley so that you give basics for retreat, which could be a good idea. I'm not sure if that's going to be the right way to go about it, but I did just discard a Grimer there. Usually I focus more on what's actually happening in the gameplay, but yeah, let's get to that. So what's going on here is I don't have a very good board, which for some reason is happening to me a lot lately with Zork, but I think that's just kind of how it goes. It's sort of a trade-off now with this new list. It's like you accept sort of a bad early game to be able to catwalk more later on, and then you just sort of come back as a result. But anyway, so I've just got this Marshadow active. At the time, I knew that I had a Stretcher in my hand, so I was like, go ahead, knock out this Marshadow. I'm just going to evolve my Meowth to Persian, catwalk for what I need, discard that DC on the Zork to retreat into Marshadow by stretching for it, and then swing with a Koga. I had like a really sick hand. I just traded once, so Cameron probably doesn't assume my hand is very good, but that's the whole idea here, is just to take advantage of that and pull off an awesome combo. So this is what makes me not want to cut down on the Persian line. The fact that you know, it's going to do a lot to help with the combos with making Marshadow work, as you're about to see in this next turn. So, I don't know. It's really awkward because it's like the same effect that makes the whole Koga combo thing work is kind of what you have to cut down on to fit it into the deck, it seems like. So, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. So, Cameron opts here to not get a PikaRom to full blitz onto. The idea being, oh, and by the way, that Jolteon GX is another Zorora. He just doesn't have a second one. The idea being that, you know, I've got pretty much nothing going, so, or at least that's what he sees. I mean, he doesn't know that my hand is busted. So he's just going to accelerate all these energy onto that PikaRom and chill. Oh, no, he's putting on Zorora, my bad. Okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, you probably should have gotten the PikaRom there. I mean, he said this to me afterwards. He said that he wished he got PikaRom and put it on his bench instead of just discarding Zorora. But, going for that trade. I really wanted to get Koga with, like, Marshadow and stuff on video because it seems like a combo that might not be realistic, but you actually pull it off fairly consistently. I mean, I don't know, I don't think I should say consistently, but you pull it off a good amount. It definitely makes the Reshizard matchup a lot better as well. It's enough to make your matchup chances like 10% better against PikaRom and Reshizard, so I think the Marshadow idea is kind of a staple, for at least for this variant of Zoroark. Other variants that like play different fighting types, like maybe you can do Machamp and Marshadow, you can do Lucario GX, Lycanroc GX, you can do Marowak. There's a bunch of different fighting options, but if you're gonna, you know, stick to the Persian version, it's kind of like this build, I think Marshadow is just the way to go. So as you can see, I pulled off an awesome combo here, Ultra Balling my whole hand for the Dedenne, Catwalking for the Koga in the DCE, and that is going to be enough. Against Reshizard, you're going to need a Choice Band to make this work with the Marshadow, actually, but against PikaRom, you do not. You just need the attachment, no choice, because you're hitting for 240 plus 10 from poison, but that 10 is probably not too relevant. And you can stream this, actually. If you... So, normally I wouldn't just have Marshadow in play like I did, but if you know, your opponent knocks out something and you get the Marshadow combo and take a one-shot, and then they go and they knock out Marshadow, after that you can Catwalk for your stretcher and just do it again. So, I think the combo is definitely worth it. I mean, it's just one Marshadow as a slot, and then you get to decide if you want to play multiple Koga or not. You don't necessarily have to. Same goes for the Grimer. I'm back and forth between 1 and 2 Alolan Grimer and 1 and 2 Koga, but seems like Koga's just a really good supporter anyway, so I'm thinking 2 is probably the way to go. Not 100% sure though. And then Grimer, I mean, my only concern is if I play 1 Grimer and 1 Marshadow, that if I prize Grimer, then I can't do the combo at all, so that's the only reason why I feel like 2 would probably stay in the deck. I'm not 100% sure on that either, though. I felt like when you have 2 Koga, you also kind of want 2 Grimer just because it gives you more opportunities to attack with the Grimer itself rather than just with Marshadow. Because don't forget, like, attacking with Marshadow after you play Koga... Sorry, attacking with Grimer after you play Koga is really great against all these tag team decks because you're going to confuse them and poison them and then hit for pretty solid damage with a 1 prize Pokemon. So, yeah, your Reshizard matchup gets a lot better, I feel like, if you just go 2 Alolan Grimer, 2 Koga, and then have the Marshadow. Like, it's probably more than 10% better. And that's especially true against the Greens version, because they run far fewer switching cards, so. Another thing you can do is, you can actually just get out Muck against that version, because they rely a lot on abilities with double Marshadow, 4 Jirachi, a Lele, Dedenne. And then I feel like there was 1 more, but maybe that's it. But anyway, you get the point. They play a lot of basic abilities, so you can evolve Ditto into Muck, and then just swing with Grimers in that matchup if you want to. Or you can knock it out the muck, and then that gives you the opportunity to use Marshadow GX. Honestly, you just might not even need the Marshadow. Like, you could just you could just use your strategy as swinging with Grimer. But I don't know. That's probably not reasonable. So back to what's happening in the game here. I did get that one shot on the PikaRom, which was pretty devastating for Cameron. I'm at 3 prizes, and I believe he's also at 3 prizes. Maybe he's at 2. But yeah, if I can get Muck here, I feel like I'm in an amazing position. But I might just not need it. I don't know how many Pokemon are in the discard pile, but I might be able to just Vengeance for the knockout here. Otherwise, I have not used my GX yet. I believe I just catwalked. So that should mean Cameron's at 2 prizes, actually. And then I can Resetting Hole both to get rid of the Thunder Mountain and just to get another Pokemon in my discard pile for Vengeance. It's also really solid because it's pretty hard for Cameron to actually get an attack off on this coming turn and get 2 prizes, because if I get rid of the mountain, that means he's used both of those 2 Prism Star effects that pretty much give PikaRom that oomph that it needs. And it looks like I've got ZoroKoga Lily. Oh, that's savage. Love it. Really like Surge in this deck. I never have not liked Surge in this deck. I don't even know if I needed to slash back here, but I think I just did it because, okay, and Cameron's just scooping. So on to game 2, Cameron's going first here. I thought I skipped through the shuffling, but, oh, okay. Yeah, I just skipped to the point where one of us laid out our basic. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, as you can see, this matchup is not amazing for Zoroark, even with the Marshadow. It's still pretty iffy. But the thing that I'm happy to see is that it's just not an auto loss anymore. Before it was like really rough. And I feel like if I can find the space to put in Mew, the matchup would probably be favorable actually. Because that bench barrier works if you're not going for the Alolan Muk strategy. Which you usually aren't in this matchup because you need to use Marshadow GX. Which actually is kind of an inherent flaw with Marshadow GX, is that, you know, your best tactic against PikaRom normally is getting out Muck and then judging, but you kind of make it so you can't do that in favor of being able to attack with Marshadow, so that makes it kind of an annoying way to go about it, but nonetheless, it works fairly well, so. Cameron throwing down that hood makes sense. That means he can still use Thunderclap Zone under Alolan Muck's lock. It might just be that the Zeraora itself will be able to actually retreat, though. I don't know if it makes it so that Thunderclap Zone works on all his Pokemon. I think it might just make it so Zeraora has free retreat. And Cameron has a pretty okay turn 1. It wasn't anything amazing. He didn't get the PikaRom down. He just got the attachment. He didn't really do a whole lot, but it wasn't terrible. He can live with that, you know. Oh, wow, yeah, here we go. So I put down the Wonder Labyrinth, bench Zorua, and pass. So as lackluster as Cameron's first turn was, I think I won the the bad hand competition. So he's gonna get Dedenne and PikaRom. I think he's probably fine now. As long as he can knock out this Zora, the game's pretty much over. And he has his own Thunder Mountain to counter the Thunder Mountain. Alright, going for the Lily. So yeah, he's digging deep here. If he gets his Rope, that would be huge. I kind of don't know if he should have used that Lily, actually, because he really just wants to kill my Zorua, because that's my only out to doing anything if I have Zoroark in my hand. So he probably, I don't know, maybe he had some stuff in his hand that he couldn't Dedenne away. That's my most, I think that's the most likely thing. But I do get that Zoroark out, so now I can potentially get something. Maybe. I've got a Lysander Labs, which is very nice, by the way. I really like the Lysander Labs. And I could hit him for 20 with that triple XL, but it would just discard itself, so it just seems silly. I just Koga so that it's a little bit harder for him to win. And I gotta make sure I put that 1 damage counter down. And this game is a big part of the reason why I decided I didn't want to put a paywall behind this video. It's like, I don't really want to make anybody pay for content where it's like, all I did was dead draw 1 game. Okay, so Cameron's just doing his thing. So he can retreat for free with Zora, and then escape rope to bring the PikaRom back up, play Electro Power, and hit for 230 with his GX attack. And that takes the game for him. Going into game 3, I'm going first. That Jolteon GX is a Zorora GX proxy. Starting Marshadow again. I think did I start with that every game? I at least started with it 2 of the 3 games. And then I'm just checking something real quick while I use that Nest Ball for Zorua. I've got a Judge in my hand or a Lily. My hand is really gross. It's quite bad. And I think I was checking for Dedenne there just so I could see how bad or good it would be to play Judge. Judging by the fact that I'm shuffling here, I'm pretty sure I end up going for that Lily though instead, even though it's not going to get me very many cards. Lily for a big 3. Just kidding. 3's not very big. Obviously. Nesting for a Ditto. I think I just wanted to provide myself the option to get out Muck on my second turn if I wanted to. Putting back in that Lele, probably for another Zorua, I'm guessing. If I... Yep. And got an Ultra Ball for next turn, a Judge. I think a double Colorless, a Stretcher. So the reason why I don't Ultra Ball there for another basic is just to guarantee that I can get Zoroark out next turn. I think that's a play that a lot of people mess up, is just burning all the ball cards in their hand to make sure they can like fill their bench on the first turn. In reality, if one of those is like a Pokemon Communication or an Ultra Ball that you could use on your next turn to guarantee a Zoroark, it's probably a safer play to just like not bench one of those basics and hold on to the Pokemon Search card for your next turn. Cameron benches the Absol. I'm not entirely sure why. Probably just to draw another card with the Lily. I think he benched it and then play Lily. It's not very relevant in this matchup, but he's got free bench spaces open. PikaRom's not too tight on bench space, so it's not a big deal. Could create an annoyance for me at some point, I suppose, if I want to retreat a Zork. Actually, yeah, that's quite relevant now that I think about it. Because the way that I usually go about using Marshadow GX is retreating a Zoroark that has a... Oh, no. Marshadow's only for... Absol's only for basics. Yeah, never mind. It's not going to be relevant. I was trying to find some way that it could matter, but I just don't think it's going to matter. Courteously, Cameron switches the proxy for the real Zorora. Discards the other one, along with, I think, an energy switch... and a Taboo Koko GX, I want to say. Judging by his mannerisms, he probably didn't get too much good stuff off that. But he's doing fine. I mean, he just retreats, takes the knockout with Zapdos because of the Thunder Mountain. It's A-okay. My board state is looking pretty mediocre. All I got on this first turn was that Lily. Given that I did draw pretty well with the Lily, I did get two or three more basics down after I played it, so that was pretty sick. Stretching for that Marshadow to counter Stadium. Not 100% sure that was the right play, because I'm just leaning in here trying to analyze the board. But I'm not 100% sure that was the right play, just because that eliminates my option to be able to recover Marshadow GX later. Ultra Balling the Lily and the Koga here. I think I go for... What do I go for? Zoroark, I think? I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure I go for the Judge this turn. Got the attachment. Well, I don't even think I want to put that down. So the reason why I don't put that attachment down there is because I would need to fill my... I'm just checking my deck for something, by the way. I just needed to remember if I had Dedenne in my deck or not, I guess. Or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, the reason I didn't put that energy down was because I didn't think my chances of actually filling my bench and getting Muck out were very good. I felt like if I just... Oh, okay, so Cameron, we're pretty casual about this. Cameron is gonna energy switch onto that. Yeah, onto that PikaRom. I told him he could take it back. So basically, what would have gone differently on that last turn that he had was he would have retreated into Zapdos before playing the Dedenne, then energy switch off the Zorora to the PikaRom, and then end his turn by attacking with Zapdos. So it doesn't really change much. It kind of matters because on one hand, he actually could have gotten the combo to full blitz turn one. So like if he hit that combo, obviously he wouldn't have taken back the play where he discards the energy switch. So that's, there's that. Oh, and I don't get Muck here. That is devastating, actually. But then again, I think it probably was the correct play to just play it safe, retreat and energy switch. And Cameron is just blowing me up right now. Holy crap. He's got... Oh, yeah, that Muck would have been huge. Holy crap. Yeah, if I just got Muck there, he wouldn't have been able to Coco GX. And I would have gotten rid of his Thunder Mountain. I mean, once you deal with the Thunder Mountain and the Coco GX, if your opponent doesn't have a whole lot of steam and they're playing PikaRom, you're just going to destroy him. So I think that seriously lost me the game. Just that alone, just not having the Muck there. I think if I did have it, I would have been fine, I think. But yeah, whiffing it was pretty bad, and what did he just knock out? He knocked out a... I don't even know what he just full blitzed, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a GX. And then I'm gonna Ultra Ball, got the attachment. Okay, so I'm developing something, but honestly, that last turn Cameron just had was so unbelievable that I don't know if I can do this, because I'm gonna have to bench another... not another, but I'm gonna have to bench one of those low HP GXs that can be hit on the bench with Tag Bolt. So yeah, I think the game is seriously just over because I'm with that Muck. So you can see how fragile these game states are. I wish I could play more Ultra Ball or more Pokemon Communication, but that is just not something I can do. But maybe I just play another Cynthia, because if I would have Cynthia'd and played Judge, instead of playing Judge on the last turn, I probably would have had a hard chance of hitting and out to Muck, so who knows. Definitely don't want to play more than one Muck. I think that's not a good idea. So I have the measly Ritis beating for 100. Plus 10 from Poison. And I actually can't tell how many prizes Cameron has left, but I think he just wins right now. Oh, no, because there's like 3 minutes left in the video, so he couldn't have won just yet, but I think he's about to go down to 1 prize. That is going to be a big problem for me. And this is why we still play Muck in the deck. And the presence of multiple Let Loose in a lot of these decks has been really annoying for Zapdos and Zoroark, I've noticed. Being able to Catwalk is pretty good insurance to something like a Let Loose one-shot, but I don't have the Persian out. And the reason I didn't put it down before is because I needed to put down Muck instead to slow down Cameron. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm really starting to feel like I want my second Meowth back in. Also starting to feel like I want my second Persian back in, but at least the Meowth. Another option could just be to play 2 Stretcher. So Cameron takes out 4 prizes just there. Right there. Again, if I had another... No, that's not true. I was going to say if I had another Cynthia in my list, I wouldn't have needed to use the Persian when I did, but I actually did, because I needed to Day change to draw cards, and then I also needed to play Koga that turn to make it harder on him to take that 4 prizes. So I don't think I misplayed there. And the ironic thing is, like, here, Judge would be better than Cynthia. It's like, man, maybe I should just put it in Pokegear. I don't know. That might not be a bad idea, honestly. Now that I say it out loud, there might be some merit to playing Pokegear and Zoroark. Another idea I've been toying with recently is playing Hergear again. The one that recovers 1 item. Just would be cool for recovering Stretcher, Choice Band. If I play Pokegear, it could recover that to give me a supporter out. I've actually been primarily thinking about playing it in Zapdos, but it is possibly good in Zoroark as well. And it occurs to me here that I actually don't have the knockout if I get that Zork, so I just realized that I have to get another basic here instead, which is extremely painful because of Cameron. Yeah, Cameron's got it. He just goes energy switch onto Zapdos, moves him up one of those basic, and takes the last prize, so he's going to take it. As you can see, this matchup's pretty close. It's a pretty fun matchup to play. It's really fast, very interesting. I think the Marshadow GX is very strong, but I don't think that best of 3 was the best measurement of how the match usually goes. But nonetheless, good games. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.